The confrontation happened out of the blue during a casual meetup at our usual coffee spot. We had met to discuss the next phase of the startup I founded, a fitness app that was starting to gain users. My best friend and business partner, Liam, showed up with a folder and a serious look. "This is the new direction," he said. "I've restructured things and honestly, it's better if I take lead from here. The investors agree you're out." I took the folder and flipped through it. The company name was changed slightly. My original code and designs were there, but with his name on all the patents. Funding agreements I had negotiated were rewritten to exclude me. The app's core features, ones I developed over 2 years in my apartment, were listed as his ideas. "What is this?" I asked. "You can't just take it all. Watch me," Liam replied. "You've been too focused on the tech side, not the big picture. The investors know I'm the one who can scale this." He had no apology, just certainty that it was done. The coffee shop was busy, but our table felt isolated. I texted a couple of our key investors right then, people we had pitched to together. "Is this true?" I asked. "You got me out?" One responded quickly. "Liam has the vision we need. Sorry, but business is business." Another added, "This is for the best. Don't make waves." These were contacts I had brought in, people we celebrated funding rounds with over drinks. Now they supported him as he erased my role, likely because he offered them better terms or equity. I could have raised my voice or threatened legal action on the spot. Instead, I closed the folder, stood up, and nodded. "Fine," I said. "Keep it." I grabbed my backpack and walked out, leaving my coffee behind. As I reached the door, I heard Liam chuckle and say something about me finally getting the message. My phone buzzed nonstop on the way home. Investors sent follow-ups, urging me to sign over any remaining rights quietly. I ignored them and headed to a cheap Airbnb across town. For the first time in months, I felt focused. Walking away was step one. They didn't know I had backups of every file, email, and prototype from day one. Signs of trouble had built up over the past year, but I overlooked them because Liam and I went back to college days. He started canceling our joint meetings, claiming schedule conflicts, but then I'd see him online posting about networking events I wasn't invited to. Code updates I shared with him appeared in demos he presented alone, with small changes to make them look new. Investors began emailing him directly, bypassing our shared account. And when I asked, he said it was just efficiency. Our mutual friends in the tech scene stopped including me in group chats, but Liam would mention offhand that he had grab drinks with him. Bank alerts showed unusual withdrawals from the business account, labeled as marketing expenses, but no receipts followed. I noticed all this, but chalked it up to growth pains. After the coffee shop incident, it clicked that he had been planning this takeover for months, pulling strings behind the scenes. That night at the Airbnb, I opened my laptop and went through my archives. I had timestamps on every version of the app code, emails proving I originated the ideas, and even early pitch decks with my name as founder. I decided to consult a lawyer the next morning and start documenting everything. Update: people left a ton of comments on my original post, and the advice helped a lot, especially suggestions about intellectual property laws. I reached out to a lawyer specializing in startup disputes the day after the confrontation, and we met at her office downtown. She reviewed my files and said we had a solid claim for theft of trade secrets and breach of partnership, but we needed more evidence to make it stick, like proof of how he shared it with investors. Things escalated quickly from there, turning into a nightmare for Liam. I rented a small studio apartment in a quiet neighborhood to stay under the radar while building my case. The building manager, an older guy named Vic who used to run his own small business, chatted with me one evening and shared stories about partners who turned on him years ago. He gave tips on keeping records organized and even lent me a scanner for old documents. I kept my phone off for 3 days to avoid the constant pings, then turned it back onto a flood. 56 missed calls, 89 texts, mostly from Liam demanding I hand over any remaining files and threatening a countersuit if I fought back. A couple investors left voicemails saying they hoped I'd bow out gracefully to avoid damaging the company's image. There was even a message from a PR firm they hired, warning that negative publicity could hurt my future in the industry. On social media, Liam had posted updates about the rebranded app, crediting himself as the sole visionary and gaining likes from our shared network. The investor group chat, which I was still in, exploded with messages praising his new direction and subtly shading me as the one holding things back. One investor wrote that I was too attached to old ideas, and others agreed, saying Liam brought the energy they invested in. The buzz spread to tech forums and LinkedIn, where anonymous posts hinted at a founder shakeup at a rising fitness app, with comments speculating I had been pushed out for incompetence. A former colleague messaged me privately, saying Liam was telling people I had agreed to step down, but was now causing trouble. I didn't engage online. Instead, I dug deeper. I hired a digital forensics specialist to trace file histories and email trails. Their report showed Liam had accessed my cloud storage without permission multiple times, downloading prototypes and sharing them with investors under his name. Timestamps matched meetings I wasn't part of. While out getting coffee, I ran into our old office assistant, Sarah, who had quit a few months back. She looked relieved to see me and suggested we talk. Over lunch, she revealed Liam had asked her to delete certain emails and backup files selectively before she left. She kept copies because it felt wrong, and she mentioned hearing him discuss cutting me out with an investor on a call. She agreed to provide a statement. That pushed me to review server logs from the company, which I still had access to through a backdoor account. I found deleted chats where Liam coordinated with 2 investors to rewrite the partnership agreement, promising them larger shares in return. Then came a surprise email from an unknown address. It was from a junior developer who worked briefly for us. He said he had overheard Liam bragging about the theft at a bar and had recorded part of it on his phone. He wanted to meet anonymously and use the initials JD. I set it up through my lawyer. This is expanding beyond what I thought. Seeing the investors and network side with Liam in those posts and messages highlights who they are. Each endorsement just strengthens my resolve. The meeting with JD went smoothly at a neutral spot. He played the recording, Liam's voice boasting about how easy it was to take the app and convince everyone I was the problem. It included names of investors involved. My lawyer added it to our growing file and filed for an injunction to stop the app's launch under the new branding. Liam's team responded with denials, but the court granted a temporary halt, citing potential irreparable harm. Tech blogs started covering the lawsuit, and user forums buzzed with speculation. I stayed silent publicly, letting the legal process work. Update 2. The days after my last update flew by with depositions, evidence reviews, and unexpected alliances, but progress has been steady. The recording from JD became a key piece, but Sarah's statement added more weight. She provided emails showing Liam instructing her to alter timestamps on documents to make it look like he originated the ideas. We combined that with the forensics report, creating a clear timeline of the theft. JD wasn't the only one to come forward. After the injunction, news hit tech sites. 2 more former team members contacted us. One had screenshots of internal chats where Liam mocked my contributions and planned to restructure. The other had notes from meetings where investors discussed pushing me out to avoid sharing equity. This showed it wasn't just Liam. It was a group effort. Liam escalated by holding a press event at the company office, announcing the app's pivot, and claiming the lawsuit was baseless sour grapes from a former partner. He had a few investors there backing him up, repeating that the changes were for growth. Social media lit up with support from his network, but cracks appeared when users started questioning the originality in app reviews. My lawyer pushed for discovery, and the court ordered Liam to turn over all communications. That's when things unraveled. Their submissions were incomplete, and the judge sanctioned them for withholding. We got access to hidden emails revealing Liam had a side deal with a competitor to sell user data, something I never agreed to. It violated our original terms and privacy laws. The hearing for the main case was in a crowded courtroom with media present. I arrived prepared with our team. Liam sat with his lawyers and supporters. The judge reviewed the evidence, recordings, emails, forensics. When the JD audio played, murmurs spread through the room. Liam's side argued it was inadmissible, but the judge allowed it. Sarah testified next, detailing the instructions to delete files. Investors on the stand admitted to the side agreements, but claimed they thought it was above board. The judge wasn't convinced and ruled in my favor, awarding me ownership rights, damages, and ordering the app shut down until resolved. Liam left looking defeated, and his supporters scattered. Back at the apartment, Vic, the manager, high-fived me over the news. Messages shifted, apologies from some investors, offers to settle. A tech podcast covered it, and views surged. The truth spread, changing perceptions. Final update. The ruling triggered a wave of developments over the following weeks. The app shutdown led to user backlash, with refunds demanded and negative reviews flooding in. Liam tried to relaunch under a new name, but the court blocked it, citing ongoing violations. Investigations revealed the data selling scheme went deeper, involving unauthorized sharing with third parties, which brought in regulators. Fines piled up, and the company faced class action suits from users whose info was compromised. One email chain we obtained showed Liam coordinating with investors to fabricate board minutes, making it look like I had voluntarily left. This led to perjury charges for a couple of them. The story went viral when a whistleblower site published the full recordings and documents anonymously. It hit major news outlets, with headlines about startup betrayal and data breaches. Views reached millions, and podcasts dissected it as a cautionary tale. Former supporters distanced themselves. One investor lost his position at a venture firm after the exposure. Another faced scrutiny in his own business deals. Liam's network crumbled, event invites dried up, and his LinkedIn profile filled with critical comments. Liam confronted me at a neutral cafe arranged through lawyers. He brought settlement papers, saying he had dirt on mutual contacts if I didn't accept a lowball offer. I refused, pointing out the evidence already out there. He left frustrated, and days later, reports surfaced of him selling assets to cover legal costs. The final settlement came last week. I regained full control of the app, plus substantial damages. Liam declared bankruptcy, and his accomplices settled separately. The company rebranded under my direction, with new ethical guidelines. I moved to a better place, hired a solid team, and even started dating someone from the tech scene. Removing those people created room for real progress. Thanks for the support through the updates. It's been a ride.